So good evening, and yeah, so tonight we are heading down to Staithes, and the plan is to go and photograph blue hour as the moon is rising. That is the plan. There is a little bit of cloud on the horizon. Hopefully that's not going to stop the full moon from getting through. There is a lot of clouds behind me. Hopefully at some point a bit of light will come up and light the top of the houses, but other than that it should be an interesting photo shoot. For the location I've decided to come to this evening, it has to be the classic point. So full moon rising above a beautiful seaside town in North Yorkshire. You can't ask for much more, and fingers crossed it's as good as what I imagine. My plan is to do a composite throughout time. I'm going to capture the clouds as they're hitting their final peak purples and real bright colours, so it doesn't look too odd against the lights being on in the town and that moon rising. Because the moon is rising at 8 minutes after sunset, it should still have enough light in the air that it doesn't seem too unusual to see that moon. Fingers crossed anyway, but there's only one way to find out, eh? Because my main priority is getting the sky right now, I'm going to slightly drop that exposure. I'm going to zoom in to the houses just over here and then open up my aperture all the way, and already it's pretty sharp, but if I just twist this a little bit, look at that, that is pin sharp. Now when I zoom out, close my aperture back to f11, that sky looks incredible, and then just fire that off. ISO 100, f11, 1/25 of a second, a beautiful sky, and just ready for that moon to pop up. So I'm also going to be waiting for them lights to turn on in the town. So right now I'm just going to sit back, I'm going to relax, I'm going to put you on a time lapse, and you can watch that sky change as I do. Tonight is going to be a blend through time, like I said before. So I've got my sky, that's all looking great, and now I just need to wait for them lights. So enjoy the time lapse. So as you saw from the time lapse there, what's starting to happen is all the lights are turning on in the town. So what I'm doing is I'm capturing the lights coming on in the town, and it's a little bit of a race against time because them clouds are not shifting for the life of it. But photopills is telling me that it's actually the moon is rising right now. So I've got this huge bank of clouds right across the horizon line, and they are just snuffing out any chance of getting that moon. But I'm looking at over this direction, and them clouds are traveling across, and there's quite a narrow part coming up. So fingers crossed I'll be able to capture that moon just above that narrow part, and it won't be too dark, because as soon as it gets too dark, what happens is that moon gets too bright and it looks too obviously composited. I want it to look natural. I want it to look like it was almost real, if you know what I mean. Not that it wasn't real, and not that it was completely faked and the shot was taken from somewhere else, but if it doesn't look right, it's really obvious. If that moon is too bright, it's really obvious. So I need it to be out in these dusk conditions, which might not happen. But I've got my fingers crossed, and everything else is working out. And if nothing else, at least I end up with a shot of the lights on in the town and a beautiful sky, as you saw at the beginning. But you can only hope. So this is the view from photopills. If I just press right now, you can see the moon is just on the horizon. And I think it's a little bit more that way than what photopills is saying. But once that moon is up, my God, if this all works out, it'll be one hell of a shot. I've got my fingers crossed. You never know what's going to happen. Oh, landscape photography is fun. But come on, clouds, get out the way. But for the people that follow my channel, you might notice something slightly different. I'm stood all the way over here, and yes, you can still hear me clearly. Well, I hope anyway. I am now the proud owner of the Rode Mini Go, which means that I can stand over here, I can stand over there, I can stand anywhere I like, and you can still hear me, which is absolutely amazing and should really boost how good and creative my camera angles can be. And I've got a new camera on the way as well, which is still an action camera, but yeah, pretty excited about it. But I'll tell you more about that when it arrives. But now it's just a case of waiting and waiting and hoping this moon comes out, because a composite of them clouds combined with that view, it'll be special. That's if it works. So the moon is actually starting to come up now. I don't know how well you can see me, but if you look just here, I've got my camera filming. You can see the moon just coming up over the clouds. But because I'm shooting on a 15 to 35 mil on 15 mil, it's very, very tiny in the background. So this is where a little bit of trickery and Photoshop comes in. So what I need to do is I need to swap lenses in a minute, and then I'm going to blend that moon in, a larger shot of the moon. I'm going to blend it into the scene, but it shouldn't look too unusual due to the fact that, you know, when you look out at a scene, your eyes zoom in on that moon, which then enlarges it. But then when you look at the rest of the scene looks bigger as well. So you blend it naturally using your eyes. So by doing this with my camera, it's not really cheating. It's how you would see it in real life anyway. So the moon is starting to come out now. So I'm going to take my final shots of the town with the lights on, and then going to swap that lens over and get a separate shot. There we are. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom all the way in and get that moon nice and big. Make sure it's nice and sharp. And I think, unfortunately, it's already too late. Because it's so dark now, the moon's going to look out of place if I try and blend it in with that bright sky and that colour. So I think what I'm going to have to do now is turn it into two separate images. I'm going to get the early lights turned on in the town with the early lights turned on in the town with a beautiful colour in the sky. And then I'm going to blend a later shot, one that I've just taken of the town where it's all dark and lit up and moody and dramatic, and then put that moon in there. So I haven't exactly failed. I've just ended up with two separate shots, which is still pretty good. So there we are. So I finished my vlog now, checked out my new microphone. Fingers crossed it sounded great the entire time. And I haven't failed, but I've ended up with two different shots. Definitely, if you're in the northeast of England, check this place out, Staithes. If you're into street photography and going down tiny alleys, this place is an absolute mecca, as long as you don't mind seagulls. My thought for this vlog is know when you can't fake. There's only so much you can twist the truth before it ends up just looking completely wrong and people can see. And I don't want to do that. But anyway, that's all from me this week, and I hope you've enjoyed the new audio. And yeah, have a lovely weekend. Peace out.